Every year, thousands vanish without a trace. Some are never found because they were never meant to be. Their bodies were carved into a billion-dollar market. Piece by piece. Across the world, a silent industry thrives in the shadows. An industry where a human being is not a person but a supply source. Where poverty is a hunting ground. And organs are the currency. International organ trafficking claims thousands of victims each year. Some are lured with job offers, some are tricked into signing fake documents. And some are abducted outright. Their bodies becoming unwilling donors in operations that never should have existed. One case that shocked the world unfolded in Pakistan, when authorities uncovered a vast kidney harvesting network in Lahore. Laborers, migrants, and the homeless were targeted, sedated, and operated on in illegal clinics. A young man, who woke up on a roadside, found stitches running across his abdomen. His kidney was gone. He whispered through tears that he had come looking for work. And instead, his body had been used to pay for someone else's life. But this darkness is not limited to South Asia. In Egypt, one of the largest organ trafficking rings ever recorded used refugees escaping war as merchandise. African migrants were promised safety, food, and jobs, but ended up on operating tables inside hidden medical facilities. Many were dumped outside in the cold, bleeding and alone, with no money and no hope of getting justice. And then there is China, where international tribunals and human rights groups have long accused authorities of harvesting organs from prisoners of conscience. China denies the allegations, but the evidence presented by researchers, whistleblowers, and independent investigators is deeply disturbing, pointing toward large-scale extraction timed perfectly with transplant demands. For many of those prisoners, the operation was their final moment alive. But Western audiences often believe this crime is far away. It isn't. In 2008, Europe itself was shaken by the exposure of the Kosovo Organ House, a location where victims from poor countries were flown in with false promises of work. Their kidneys were removed, and the organs were flown out to wealthy recipients living across Europe and beyond. Several doctors were convicted, but many of the masterminds slipped away. A reminder that even the most advanced systems can be exploited when the money is good enough. Organ trafficking thrives because demand is high. Waiting lists are long, and desperation pushes people to illegal paths. Brokers disguise the transactions through forged donor consent forms. Criminal surgeons perform the procedures in back-alley clinics, or even in licensed hospitals where someone is paid to look the other way. A kidney bought from a desperate man for $1,500 is sold to a wealthy patient for over $150,000. It is the cruelest example of inequality. A world where one person's organ becomes another person's luxury purchase. One survivor from India described it with a trembling voice. They said I would get enough money to send my daughter to school. I woke up without a kidney, and without a single dollar. His story is just one among countless others. Stories that never make headlines because the victims are poor, forgotten, invisible. But even in the West, this crime hides in plain sight. Interpol and Europol have uncovered networks reaching into Turkey, Cyprus, Israel, Spain, the UK, and the United States, with criminals moving donors across borders, and transplant tourists flying from wealthier nations to poorer ones for faster surgeries. Every successful operation leaves a silent victim behind. Governments and global organizations are fighting back. Cross-border raids, stricter transplant laws, and new technology to track organ origins. Some networks have been dismantled, but many more continue to operate, fueled by demand and protected by corruption. In the end, the question is haunting. What is a human life worth? And how many unseen victims disappear into this dark market before the world decides to finally confront it? Until then, the hidden trade in human organs will continue beating just beneath the surface, in the shadows where no one wants to look.